Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Christy here doing the monthly forecast for March 2018. This is for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. I'd like to thank everyone who is subscribed and who watches, shares, and likes my videos. Thank you so much for your encouragement and your support. I really appreciate it. We'll be doing a 10-card Celtic cross spread for your general monthly reading and using 5 cards from our Romance Angels for your romance reading. And then as always, drawing from the other decks for additional messages for your sign for the month. So what does Virgo need to know for the month of March 2018? What are messages for Virgo for March 2018? Messages for Virgo for March 2018. So I still do take jumpers from my Oracle decks, but I'm learning here with practice with the Tarot that I'm more comfortable drawing from the center of the deck for your readings. So I'm just going to shuffle a few more times with our intentional question, and then we will get your cards out for you. So what does Virgo need to know for the month of March 2018? All right. So here we're working with 4 Major Arcana cards. Major Arcana cards are really just extraordinary energy. They don't have to deal with petty or troublesome things necessarily, or they don't have to do with people necessarily, or other individuals. If I had a court card here amongst here, the central part of the reading here, I might read it that it could be another person. But again, as it is a general reading, if you find any of the information here can be applied to an individual in your life who is not you or who you don't consider to be an energy, certainly apply it to your advantage, whatever works for you, Virgo. All right, at the bottom of the deck is general energy for the whole reading, so you can pretty much use this energy and sort of tie it in with the other cards and movements here, is the 4 of Pentacles. So this is really just feeling like it's difficult to give right now. It's difficult. This is a practical card, like the coins is like the practicality, the 5 senses, but it could be that you're feeling unable to give in a lot of different ways, or give as much, or give to one person in particular this month. Again, it could be a sense of protection. You could just be like putting your coins away, frankly, and sort of saving for a rainy day. But if this is a practical, as in an action, this could be about, you know, you're gonna sit on something, you're gonna possibly wait on something. One of the terms that people readers sometimes use for the 4 of Pentacles is like a miser. So you could just be, but it doesn't mean that it's like for no good reason, like you're holding on to something or you're protecting something here within the practical, the physical world for good reason. Okay, so that's your general energy card. Let's get into the card representing you this month. And we do have the Knight of Air, which of course is the Knight of Swords. Really, this is like rushing in with a message, okay? So swords is anything having to do with the mind, the intellect, messages, thoughts, that type of thing, stuff that goes on in our head, in our mind. And with the Knight here, or the messenger meaning Knight, and this representing you, this is you coming through with a very possibly brisk message, but it doesn't mean it's wrong. And it certainly doesn't mean you're lying, right? I mean, the air or the swords are truth tellers. And I mean, it can feel cutting. It can feel, you know, maybe even hurtful. But again, you can't be accused of lying, and you can't be accused of holding something in. So that's really good. And again, with the knight, so unless you're a knight of earth, for example, this is sort of like, this is like fast-paced energy, right? And of course, dealing with the element of air, this is something that's going to travel quickly. So even if you were to whisper something to someone and it's, you know, the honest to God truth, for example, it's almost going to grow legs and take on a life of its own here. And of course, with the situation being the magician on top of it, so you're in a position here where words or language or ideas and thoughts that you share here can be transformative. Okay, they can transform you if this is strictly about you. Again, apply all these messages to your benefit in a general sense, Virgo. And of course, if you want a personal reading, contact me at the information in the description box if you have personal questions. But in a general sense, it's almost like you're creating magic here with the Magician card as the situation by being bold about your thoughts and your beliefs and the way that you communicate, frankly. And again, it could be, depending on the person you're speaking to or the listener, you could be accused of, you know, being blunt, right? Maybe being cutting, that type of thing. But again, the goal isn't to do that. The goal is it's truth telling, and it's really about, okay, well, I can soothe you after the fact, but you know what? There's the truth. Now we can work with it. Now we can work in the real world. So it's actually kind of a benefit. And if you are doing this, or if this is available to you in the month of March, it is going to be a positive transformation here. And it might even take on a little bit of a life of its own here that you hadn't expected, but it's going to be beneficial here. And someone might even say that, like, what you said or what you did or what you thought, or even if this is something that's occurring internally for you, it's almost like, oh my gosh, it's magic. Like, that really worked. And remember, Knight of Air, or Knight of Swords, as it were, can be a message that's being brought to you. This does represent you, but again, this could be because it's the messenger, and it's the original tarot, for example, the Rider-Waite Tarot has, you know, these knights, these men on horses. So this could be that you're the recipient of this type of message, and it will create sort of a magical illumination, or you'll be better prepared to move ahead in life or with project, etc. Because of this information. It's almost like you're being given a secret, like a secret power, and now you can manifest, or you can work with this to your benefit. So it's actually a really good thing here. Here with your foundation is the 8 of Cups. This is really feeling as though you are missing out on something. And because we're looking at water, water is our emotions, right? The cups rule the emotions here. It could be that you feel like something is too far away, or you missed the boat on something, or something's being withheld from you emotionally. Again, as the foundation, it could be a nice idea this month to maybe balance the mind and the emotions here. You don't want to give up how you feel about something necessarily, or something makes you feel bad, and it becomes more important to just be blunt, for example. Or if someone's doing this to you, you know, maybe just say, I know this is for my best interest, and it's, you know, you're telling the truth, and that's true, but we have to recognize that we're emotional beings as well, and how we feel about something is really important too. So just be aware here that you're not sort of stealing emotional energy, or someone's not doing it to you, or you're not being let down. Or if you are being let down by something, that it will work to your benefit in the long run. Remember that this was necessary, that you needed to see or feel, for example, what it's like for this to be unavailable to you, or what it's like to see, you know, maybe not everything was as you thought it was going to be. In this situation, again, you may be very supported here in an intellectual way, in a, you know, a very strong mind, someone who's very honest, someone who's able to get a message across, like, very easily. Again, it's transformative here. And again, I can't help but feel that you're holding maybe your heart close to your chest here this month. Something maybe you didn't want to hear that you're not seeing. Perhaps you will at the end of the month, or perhaps you'll get a grip on during the month and then see for yourself, you know what, it's in my best interest. It's good that I'm looking at this from afar, or it's good that maybe what I thought I really wanted didn't exactly happen exactly the way I wanted it to. So it's not necessarily a bad card here. It's just that there could be some emotional letdown here. However, what we have in your recent past, and this is why I know that you can achieve this again, is the Empress. So it could be, so the Empress is really just looking at, this is actually a pregnancy card. So the Empress really is about the fruits of our labor, right? So again, another major arcana. All these cards here are major arcana, and then you have another one down here, and you have the Fellow to the Miss here. The Emperor is back here as an internal influence. So really lovely to see for yourself. Recall here that you do have a great deal of resources and energy within. Okay, and you've had to rely on those in the past here, because again, in your recent past, there's this sense of being pregnant with something, being so fulfilled that you're kind of, you know, overflowing. And again, apply it as you will in a general sense. But if this is a relationship, for example, there's this sense of, you know what it's like and you know how to achieve fulfillment here. Maybe it's almost like an over-reliance on someone else for a short period, or you were relying on someone for something and they didn't come through for you or the way you wanted to, but you recognize how rich you are within, right? How stable, how that you have all these talents and creative powers within, and you can achieve that again. So don't let something that feels like a little bit of a letdown essentially, you know, steal from you or make you feel like you can't talk to that person, or you'll never get what you want, that type of thing. Like, try to avoid spiral thinking, for example, because in your recent past, here we have one of the most obviously glorious cards here, the Empress. Another way to say this is that if it were a creative project, for example, your recent past would have led you into the creative vault that you would have felt like you're very capable and able and without effort, aware of, you know, your creative capabilities here. And when I said pregnancy, for example, it doesn't necessarily mean, you know, a physical pregnancy. Sure, it could. It could be in the recent past there was a new baby, a new idea, a new animal in your life, a new partner, etc., a new job, a new creative project, etc. But again, you apply that accordingly to your situation, but it's a very fulfilling card. And in fact, the Rider-Waite Tarot has the Empress, who is painted in the card as a pregnant woman. So it's almost like something coming to fruition in your recent past, and it could very well have to do with this message and this transformation here. Through the Magician. Now remember, the Magician as the transformative experience is the situation. So this is going to work to your benefit. It's not like the Death card where it's a transformation that's going to like, it's a totality and it's going to like, you couldn't have anticipated it and it just changes you the way it needs to because of the experience. This is something that you do, okay? You use this. This is you are transformed, or you are able to transform something else through this message, or being the messenger here. Again, coming in with a very strong message, probably very blunt. I'm curious to hear what it is. Here with our short-term outlook. This is absolutely one of my favorite cards of the whole deck, is the Ten of Cups here. Of course, the Ten of Water is the Ten of Cups. This is absolute like domestic bliss, right? This is domestic fulfillment. Whether or not you have a family, Virgo, or however many members are in your family, this is, when they say short-term outlook, you know, I would say like for the month or for several weeks of the month, right? I mean, we all need struggle to grow on some level here. But again, you went from 8 to 10. So you've worked through something here. You've realized how strong you already are. All the resources you have are within, including, right? Including emotional strength here, okay? And then being the master of your I wouldn't say the master of your intellect necessarily, but at least being aware of how to use it to your advantage. It could be that you're just doing a lot of mindfulness recently, and this is really manifesting for you. You're really starting to feel a certain way because of it. So your short-term outlook being the 10 of Cups, yeah, absolutely, total fulfillment, right? And anytime we're dealing with water, we're dealing with the emotions necessarily, so emotional fulfillment. So don't let any short-term or small-time disappointments really let you down. Keep your eagle eye on the large picture here. So here we have patience. This is the Temperance card in the traditional tarot. And I mean, it's self-explanatory here. This is the present state of the problem, however. So the position it's in is a little bit weird to have this in it. And this is really just saying in kind of juxtaposition to this card here. It's almost like have patience, but this is the state of the problem and this is you. So it's almost like if you feel like a message needs to be given or heard or given to you, or you need information, you're like, what do I need to know? What do I need to know? I would actually take action on that, because it appears as though patience is actually, with regard to that, okay, with this situation here, it looks like it will be, there's no point. You might as well take action. You might as well go rushing in, or try something, or apply a type of thought process or thought patterns. Some themes around that is like the way that we talk to ourselves, and positive affirmations, something as simple as that, for example, or the way that you think and believe about something here. Maybe put it to action. Maybe patience around this theme here, this month anyway, isn't your best friend. And it could be almost like, if patience is applied, it could be more frustrating, right? So maybe just take that action. Take a little bit of a chance here, especially because you do have such strong, like with the Magician and the Empress here, and of course your internal energy, or your outside influence. I read these backwards, forgive me. Your outside influence is the Emperor. So there could very well be another, if this isn't actual energy coming from the outside in, it could be in terms of support and wellness here. It could be that this is your match. You've met your match, right? Your outside influence is, the counter to, or your, what's it called? Like the fit to the Empress. So this could be a partner card for you in terms of outside influence. Maybe you're getting to a deeper level of commitment, or really understanding each other differently, relationship status notwithstanding here. It could be that you're realizing a lot more about each other, and you understand exactly where you stand now, and you can sort of proceed whether you're together or not. Again, there could be something around a message, something that could be considered blunt here is going on. So this person or this type of energy could be bringing it in, or you could be expressing it. It's going to be transformative to your benefit here. But in terms of this being an outside influence and the Emperor, this is, whether or not it's a partner here, Virgo, this is extremely strong, positive energy. And I know you can see here the lion is dressed sort of as this massive, just this overwhelming type of king. It's almost like he doesn't even need an army. It's like you can't get past this energy. You can't get past this person. The Emperor is really almighty. It's the person with kind of all the answers. It's the ruler of their domain, the ruler of their heart and mind, I might add here, because this is what's going on here. Maybe you're just coming to terms with being the master of your mind, because this is internal energy, which is really lovely to see for you. You have a great store of positive and positive energy and a great deal of perseverance here, Virgo. And here with your internal influences, the King of Fire. I mean, look at this, the huge heart here. There could be a fire sign either in the first 5 planets of your chart. You could have some fire in your own chart. Or you could be dealing with a Leo or someone who's Leonian or another fire sign. So a Sagittarius or an Aries here. But again, for internal influences, you have heart. It's very closely related to the Sun card in this sense. So the King really of Wands here is like the mastery of this, you know, passion, the mastery of expression of the heart. But again, it's not like just a message, right? It's not the King of Air, which would be the master of a message or messages. This is the master of expression, okay? Because this is passion. So because this is happening within you, it's almost like, you know, you're remembering this strength here, and you're like, oh, no matter what is happening around me, you go within and you have it there, because that's how strong you are. So this is absolutely beautiful to see for you for internal influences. Yes, trust yourself, rely on yourself, count on yourself, whether or not you're partnered, Virgo, okay? Whether or not you're partnered, particularly if you're not getting something that you need right now for any reason. And, you know, finishing up with the Nine of Wands, there's this sense of something could feel heavy by the end of the month. But again, don't give up. And sorry, I skipped ahead. Here we have your hopes and fears. This is really sort of the Six of Cups is always about nostalgia. If you're letting go of something this month, or if something's coming to an end, no matter what it is, even if it's a thought process, okay? And it has nothing to do with another person, even if it's a thought process. For example, this is just really saying, you know, beware of old thoughts, beware of thoughts and beliefs that don't work for you, okay? Because you're just gonna get in the way. Just be mindful of staying on top of that, okay? You wanna master that. But here, because it's Cups, and we do have a couple of Cups cards here, we're looking primarily at an emotional situation here. Again, our thoughts create our emotions, our beliefs create our emotions, and of course our actions. So there could just be an element of nostalgia here that you would, in terms of your hopes and fears, would prefer to be away from, right? I mean, nobody wants to live in a state of nostalgia. So I'm going to suggest that this is maybe a fear for you, that you're going to feel, you know, not as sad as you originally did, for example, or that you thought you would, but there's a sense of maybe it's just hard to let go. And I mean, you know, that's actually pretty normal. It is hard to let go, especially if it's a long-term relationship or creative project. And like I was saying here with your final outcome card or your long-term outlook, so this is probably energy that's going to bring you into April, for example. This is the Nine of Rods, and this is just feeling like something's cumbersome, right? But again, it's like action, like an action here, an action that you have to take or realize is necessary to take for your benefit or to fulfill goals here. Is just going to be a little bit perhaps exhausting. It might be a nice time to maybe share the load if you do need help with action, you know, an outcome. Perhaps this has to do with a home or moving or settling somewhere. It could be changing jobs. It could be changing cities. Could be changing your appearance, for heaven's sakes. It could be, you know, hair and makeup and clothes, right? So anything, you know, that's happening in the physical realm that you take action on, that's, you know, spirited, but something that's going to feel perhaps a little bit daunting. So if you are wondering about what move to take around a certain switch in your life, if you are to make changes to your appearance, for example, maybe hold off on them until mid-April, see what your April reading is, or maybe look around, get some consultations. Otherwise, I'm going to say that you just need a little bit of help to carry the load here near the end of the month, beginning of April. So we're just going to ask the romance angels for some clue cards for you. So we're asking today, in terms of romance, what advice does Virgo need? Looking for advice for Virgo for March 2018. This is for Virgo. What advice do you have for Virgo for March 2018? There we go. So we're just looking for, and we just need one more card here. And one just switched up. Wonderful. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I just asked, what do you need to know within the realm of romance? Of course, if you're not romantically inclined or dating or committed, apply this to creative projects in your life. So as you are, have heart-to-heart conversations, honestly discuss your feelings with the other. Yeah, you need to just lay it on the line here, no matter how the chips fall type thing. If you're singling and mingling, maybe just reveal yourself to somebody a little bit at a time, see how they respond to you. If neither of those apply and this is a creative project, really make a pros and cons list would be a really nice way to apply this card in a creative environment. Are you on your correct path? Playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. This is really important whether you're dating or not. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. If you're singling and mingling, stay playful, stay fun. Remember, one of the things that kills romance is getting too serious or thinking about the problems in life, right? There's plenty of time for that. Stay playful, stay light. If you are in a committed relationship, recapture that joy, especially if things are getting a little bit dull or if there's a rut. You know, remember what it was like to date. And then here, if this is a creative project, you're going to want to get into this from a sense of playfulness, from a sense of fun. There's nothing worse than a creative project that feels like work. So as soon as it starts to feel like work, maybe take a step back and inject some fun into it. Here with your main obstacle is chemistry. This is so strange to have in this position. There's a strong magnetic attraction here is the main obstacle. So if you are dating, for example, maybe this isn't someone that you really want to be dating, or it's not someone you want to be serious with. Despite the chemistry, if you are singling and mingling, maybe it's not mutual and it's an unrequited situation. And maybe it's just one-sided. Or on the other hand, if it's a main obstacle, maybe there's just too much here and the chemistry is fine, but you don't get along in other ways, okay? You can't commit to this person in other ways. So like the chemistry is there, that's great, but it's almost like overshadowing everything else, and it could present long-term problems because, I mean, you need more than chemistry. You need, you know, someone who is your best friend as well. If this is a creative project, just make sure that what you're doing is right for you at this time. Here we have what is helping you is a retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. So they do have a couple here going off together. So if you are coupled, maybe take a little break together. It might be nice to sort of regroup, take a little vacay or a staycay. If you're singling and mingling, this would be nice to maybe take a step back from the dating world, or to give a little thought about how you go about dating or who you're dating, especially if you're running into something, a situation here where you might feel there's a lot of chemistry, there's a lot of attraction, but there really needs to be something more. Maybe take a step back and give that other person, or provide an opportunity for that person to provide more. And then here in a creative venture, this could be about, you know, what is it that I really want to do? Especially if you have more than one creative project on the go, or there's something that you have questions around that you've been working so hard on it, and it's like, well, it ceased to be fun, or it ceased to be fulfilling. It's take a little step back from that. See how that works in a couple of days once you let it go or let it rest for the time being. And then how can progress be made? Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. So again, for committed folks, we're looking at, you know, remind yourself of that playfulness. Be honest with each other. Remember that there's more than sexual attraction to a long-term commitment here. Get to the heart of the matter. Maybe find out what makes their mind tick. See if there's a real connection there, or help create one. If you're singling and mingling, this is really fun to just, you know, give them another chance. Maybe they didn't fulfill some other requirement for you here, but you know what? If you trust them and you really do like them, give them another chance, see how it pans out, or keep dating. If one partner didn't work out, or one situation in the dating world didn't work out, you know what? Give yourself a little bit of a break and then try again. Don't give up. And then here, if this is a creative project and the other two don't apply to you, we're looking at do a little bit at a time rather than doing nothing, okay? There's a situation here where you could be saying it's all or nothing. If I don't do it all right now, I just won't do it. But, you know, a little bit at a time, here and there can actually create such enormous progress that you build momentum on that as well. So If you need to take a step back, take a step back, but don't make it permanent here. And remember to do something that is good for your heart, something that makes you feel positive, and that you're able to express yourself exactly as you are, not as other people need or want you to be. Because it's really important to live an authentic life. And that's really the key to happiness, right? I mean, I hope that's important. Of course it's important to you, Virgo. It's really important to find out what makes you tick, what makes you happy. How can you give from a fulfilled place, right? Without looking for fulfillment by giving, okay? And I really feel like I've been reading for you for almost a year now, and I really feel like significant changes and improvement in those areas of your life. So I'm really excited for you, and I hope that continues for you. So just in the interest of time, I know I only have like about another minute here. So I'm going to pull that one out. I've learned the hard way not to go over 30 minutes, but here we go. Study. Okay, so your final message cards are study the situation, study a theme, study actions and reactions would be a nice theme for you this month. Poise, of course, you have it within, right? You have it within, especially if you find you're disappointed a lot by seeking outside yourself. Rely on yourself, okay? You don't have to be an island, but when it comes down to the nitty-gritty and getting things done or being happy and fulfilled, rely on yourself. And fear, again, there just could be something you could be overloaded with something here. Ask for help, okay? Ask for help, and accept it is the next part. 2 steps, ask and then accept it. Talk and consort with people that you trust. Okay, Virgo, they have your best interests at heart, and stay positive. Really, something is transforming in a beautiful way for you here. It's really coming to fruition. You have a lot going on within, and you've come out of something difficult before in the recent past. So trust that you can do this. I'm really excited for you. It looks like a good month ahead. Thanks as always for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.